Welcome to the Wednesday stream. Uh-oh. There we go. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday morning. Hey, Decapolion, how's it going? Good afternoon, young sir. Hope you're feeling better. Let's have some more of your wisdom. Oh, I don't got any of that, sorry. Yeah, I am feeling better. Again, I sound a lot worse than I am. Hey, Weem. Is it Wem? Wem-I? How was your vacation? It was pretty cool, actually. It was pretty, Wem is fine. Gotcha. Thank you. It was pretty cool. Oh, I got none of my lights on. There we go. Had some fun times in the mountains of Tennessee. Had some fun times in the mountains of Georgia. We even got to spend some time with the co-host. If you want to see pictures, could join the Discord and scroll up. And scroll up. There's some pictures up there. Hey, Darknet, how's it going? Lenin died a capitalist. Well, that's news to me. Never mind. Well, that was an easy one. Users globally banned. Wow, thanks, PasadaBot. Well, that was easy. I didn't even catch that. Howdy. Oh, I got that set up for you? What? Thank you, I appreciate that. That's certainly a nifty little setup for PasadaBot. You just had to enter some commands. Huh. I thought that was an automatic default. Well, that makes life a lot easier. Don't even have to deal with it. Don't even have to deal with it, just... Is that some way to take care of, alt accounts? To kind of take care of bots or alt accounts? But yes, Astro, there's a bunch of settings. What? But yes, Astro, to your point, I am feeling a lot better. Like, I'm fine. I just sound a lot worse than I look. Wait. I feel a lot better than I look or sound. There we go. That's it. There's a bunch of settings. Gotcha. Did you get COVID? Actually, I don't know. It's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not out of the realm of possibility. The problem is, everyone in Florida is, the problem is everyone in Florida hogged up all the tests. I have COVID right now? Oof. Sorry to hear that, Thundero. You got the Omegatron? Yeah, I hope I do. But yeah, like, the thing is, it feels, honestly, like every other cold I've had. So it's kind of hard to really identify. And, before I went on my vacation, oh, I thought it was a cold? Hey, it might be. Or a flu? No, it's not a flu. Because a flu is very specific. A flu has what is it? Fever. Like a flu has fever. You know what if it's a flu. You got fever, you got the body aches and all that other stuff. Anyways, so before I went on vacation, right? Before I went on to Tennessee, I and my girlfriend, my partner, tested twice. At that point, we didn't have any symptoms or anything like that. But we're going to a wedding. We're going on vacation. We need to test twice. Tested negative. Okay. Then, when I came back for vacation, Samuline the Kind Dragon, how's it going? Alio, how's it going? And, okay, so we came back. We're all good. However, my sister, she's got COVID. She's got COVID. For sure. And we spent the weekend after we came back from vacation at the parents' house. We spent the weekend after we came back from vacation. So, that being said, it is possible, but I'm not sure because both of my parents who actually live with my sister, were able to get tested twice. And they lived with her. Both negative. My sister did have COVID, yes. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's all good. I thought we all had a little cold, probably because of the vaccine. Oh. Yeah, but the thing is, it's possible, I guess. I don't know. All I know is that, I'm fully vaccinated, so this is the worst that it was gonna do anyways. I'm fully vaccinated, so this is the worst that's gonna hit me. I mean, honestly, it was just a really bad night, and the real annoying part is being really stuffy, which is what you're hearing, is being really, really stuffy. Will Biden get blamed if virus worsens? True. Remember, it's what is it? It's Schrodinger's virus, right? When Trump's in office, it's not really a big deal. But when Biden is in power, look at all the deaths. Look at all the failures of the government. Look at how bad Biden's handling the virus. After contracting it, it takes 3 days to become infectious. Then the 2 days you feel symptoms, and by 5 you feel become safer to stop infecting others. Yes, we went over that. Astro, updated CDC guidelines say that you can technically be fine after the 5 days, but that being said, you still need to wear a mask for the remainder 5 days after that. They need to fix the testing. No one can get tested here. My mom gets tests from her work. Yeah, I cannot. I was not able to find any tests. That's why I have no idea. I got the test before we went on vacation, right? Because wedding. There's gonna be 20 people there. It was a small wedding. There's gonna be 20 people there. There's gonna be obviously family, and everybody there is either vaccinated or tested, right? Just to make sure. We did it as well, just out of an abundance of caution, twice before going. And we both tested negative. So it wasn't at the wedding, that's for sure. And I know for a fact my sister was positive, and we did spend the weekend when we came back. We did spend the weekend when we came back at the parents. It's possible. But what's funny, like what's interesting is that even my parents who live with my sister, and are undeniably in the vulnerable age group, they didn't test positive at all, and they tested the quick one, the 15-minute test, and they did the other one, the better one. I think it's called the PCR test, right? That takes a couple of hours. They did both. No symptoms. Both tests came negative. That's very good. Everyone should get a free test sent to them just like every other country, and Biden can do that. Biden can do a lot of things, but you know. I think the odds are very high that you have had COVID. Maybe. I'm not disputing that, Astro. It's quite possible. It's quite possible. Biden is handling it the same way that Trump did in his last days. Yeah. Good work lurking. Thank you. Trump doesn't care about COVID, only for voters. Biden does care about the GOP machine. Well, I think there's more things at play here. My grandparents tested negative, and we're all in the same house. Are they all vaccinated though? Because my parents, well, my mom is not vaccinated, but my dad is. COVID is the predominant disease in the USA right now. That's true, actually. That is actually true. COVID is also the number one cause. Wait, no. Was it number one or number two cause of death, or related cause of death? Everyone was vaccinated. Okay, so yeah, then that makes sense, Thendera. That makes sense, because the chances of everybody in that household being vaccinated and then getting it is a lot lower, versus in my household there is one person who's not vaccinated. There's one person who's not vaccinated, and neither of them got it. So I don't know. Seems to me like my parents won the dice roll, which is I'm very thankful, because my parents are in the age, my parents are in the vulnerable age group, of course, and yeah, I'm just glad they don't get it. My sister's a nurse, so she knows how to handle herself. What kills people more than COVID? Heart and liver issues. No, Astro. Medically wise? No. No, I don't think so. Heart and liver. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank God for the vaccines. My grandparents are safe and no one got badly sick. Yeah, I'm not badly sick. I had one bad night. And the only thing that's really bothering me is the stuffiness, which you can probably hear. Like, that's really the thing that's really bothering me, is just the stuffiness. It was mostly all up here, the sinuses, like this up here. That's really the big issue for me. That's really the big issue for me. Oh. And my girlfriend got even better faster than I did. People are not going to the hospital and doctors for 1.5 years because of COVID. That's also a thing. My son had had 3 rough days and went back to work in 7. Jeez. Oh yeah, that's right. You did tell me this. Is he vaccinated? Well, you guys are in the UK, so I suspect that he most likely is, right? Yeah, but I didn't even have 3 rough days. Oh man, I'm trying not to die. You should go to the farm supply for some medicine. Okay. Okay. Uh, double vax in Denmark. Okay. I knew I had COVID when I read the symptoms of a phantom type of pain in the arm you got in the shop because it was very specific. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, see, I never got any like body aches or any of that. I never got any body aches or anything. It really just felt like a cold because like COVID is very distinct, right? From what I understand, it sometimes I guess I really don't know. Maybe I shouldn't just speculate, but I don't know. I have vaccine 3. Yeah, you have the booster then. That's good. I'm triple. Well, yeah, then you're boosted. That's right, Astro. Boosted. Boosted. Well, I guess the silver lining is if it does end up being COVID, then I got that hybrid immunity. I got that super immunity. In which case, that ooster. How's it going, misinformation? Oh, thank you for the sub on YouTube and the follow on Twitter. I see it. I see it all. Thank you. So for those of you folks that haven't been caught up, we did go on vacation. I was able to visit the co-host for 2 days on our way up and on our way down on our way up and on our way down. So we had a phenomenal time up in the mountains, and yeah, it was pretty cool, pretty chill. And for Christmas, we had a very small family dinner, just us, just the fam, no outside people, no extended family, nothing, just literally just the 5 of us. And it was pretty chill. And now we wait for the new year. I'm also proud to announce that we did indeed win the war on Christmas. We succeeded. We succeeded in the war on Christmas. Our victory was conclusive and decisive. So that's good. Wait till a Megatron mutates into something worse. I can't wait. We have rampant expansion of infections in London on a daily basis. It's not topping out yet. Yeah, I suspect that that's probably going to be the case, but the only thing that we can do at this point, since and the only thing that we can do at this point, since I mean, I don't know how it is in the UK, but if you are in the US, the only thing that we can do is honestly take it seriously, folks. Get vaccinated. Do what you gotta do to protect yourself, protect your family. Vaccination is the best route before you know, like Darknet said before, it mutates into something where the vaccine actually doesn't work. So just do it. Just do it. It's not a big deal. It's free, readily available. And do what you need to do to protect yourself, because at least here in the US, I think the last thing that we got from the Biden administration is it's up to the states. So the federal government isn't gonna do much more. So nice meme. Nice meme. I wish you a happy new year, but let's not kid ourselves. It's gonna suck. Listen, Rye, okay? We're gonna walk into 2022 Nice and easy. Nobody touch anything. We're gonna walk into quiet. We're gonna walk into 2022 very quiet. Nice and easy. We're not gonna say a single word. Okay? We're not gonna say a single word. I have to quarantine until the 7th. I'm doing the full time. I don't know what the CDC was on. Yeah, I don't know. Well, the thing is, so the new updated guidelines. The reason for that is probably because they expect that they expect that people are more vaccinated than originally thought. I don't know what the deal is, but you've got 5 days to quarantine and 5 days to you gotta wear a mask. Sorry, ruining the hopium. Yeah, well, you're not wrong, Darknet. It is spreading exponentially. What's coming is far worse than anything we've had in 2 years. Maybe. And, unfortunately, we don't have the support of the federal government. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, just do what you gotta do. Vaccinations are readily available. They're free. It's not a big deal. Just do it. It's not a big deal. It is better to be safe than sorry, right? You don't want to lose the dice roll, right? You don't want to lose the dice roll. They were on that capitalist money rant. It's possible. They want us to think it's mild and we should keep consuming. Yeah, everything's fine. Nothing's wrong here. Everything is fine. Just proceed as normal, right? Vaccinate and hibernate. Yeah. It's relatively mild if you're boosted. That's right, if you're boosted. Actually, the benefit about the booster, the benefit about the booster is that your defenses, not only are your defenses put back up to where they need to be, but for a but it also helps to spread the transmission and prevents infection to a very good degree. When you get boosted, you get that protection. So yeah, just do it. You just got to be really careful about spreading the rhetoric. Yeah, of course. I mean, I want people to do the right thing, and I mean, the best defense that we have. The best defense that we have is to try to get as many people vaccinated. Yeah, it can still mutate even if everyone's boosted, which most of the world isn't. Yeah, that's the problem, right? The problem is getting the section that doesn't want to take the vaccine in the first place to do it. Because, like, the more this lingers, the more chances of it is mutating, which is why we're having Omicron in the first place, right? It's because everybody's thinking, it's not a big deal. I don't need it. I don't need to get vaccinated. It's fine. I'll win the dice roll. Okay, maybe. The problem is you keep perpetuating and keep allowing this thing to mutate. But, you know, all I can say is that I encourage people to do the right thing. Protect yourselves. And protect your family. Wear a mask. Social distance. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Omicron was because South Africa was not getting vaccinated? Wrong. Omicron was first detected in South Africa because they have a better system to detect these things. That's why we found it. That's why we found it there first. Yeah, they have one of the best tracking systems in the world. Correct. Hey, Mestophiles. I listened to former MMA commentators for vaccine medical advice. Nice. Yeah, we're gonna enjoy the last days of 2022, 2021. Horses are manly. You still did everything right and got COVID. Yeah, maybe. You might do everything right and you might still get it. But hey, you did everything that you could. And on the plus side, um, on the plus side, it was the mildest version. What rubs me is the attack on Fauci. Yeah, I don't get the like obsession with like Fauci because like even if is genius. Yeah, I agree. Right? I agree. In such a small yeah, but the thing is, right, you're right. That vaccines take like sometimes decades to develop, but this technology has already been like the groundwork and the research behind the technology that culminated into these mRNA vaccines were already there from decades. I think almost 20 years. We have already had like what could be considered the building blocks that culminated into this vaccine was already there. But you're not wrong. It is an amazing achievement, and it is a definitely a breakthrough technology because this is going to be used even for even other things in the future. Yeah, I don't get the thing with Fauci. It's like, okay, maybe like even if you concede that like take everything aside in a hypothetical, why are you so obsessed with one person? Like Fauci isn't the consensus of like the medical community, right? Fauci isn't the consensus. So like even if you just take him aside, how are you going to compete with the entire plethora of the world's information, right? I mean, like, I don't get it. At least the US has one voice people listen to, Fauci. I disagree. I disagree. I don't think a lot of people did listen. I disagree. If you mean that there was at least a voice of reason or a voice, then yeah, you're right. But if you're saying that people listened, I don't know about that. I do not know about that. The problem is distribution. Yes. We did a story yesterday, especially with like testing. Especially with testing. I want a test. I need a test just to make sure. Because otherwise, I need to, you know, obviously I want to know, because otherwise I'm just going to hang out here. I'm just going to hang out here. And, but, you know, in Florida, they hogged up all the tests. Hey, Cocter, can't you buy a test in a pharmacy? You could. Here's the problem. I've already went to four pharmacies. My sister has been scouring pharmacies down in South Florida too. She hasn't found a single one. They're all out. They call my governor Whitler just because of masks. Jesus Christ. People hate on Fauci because he seems fickle on what the proper procedures are. Like I said, even if that would be true, Upset Walrus, even if that was true, how does that compete with the consensus of the rest of the community, right? Like, how do you compete with the consensus of like the CDC, the NIH, and then the consensus between like the international corresponding bodies, right? They're all saying more or less the same things. Wow, these are all very, very, very high resolution thinking, high resolution arguments there, majorly based. Very high resolution arguments. What do you have to do to get banned by Hassan? Yes, because that's why we hired Dr. Fauci, right? We hired him because he could throw a good baseball. That's the qualifications. Makes sense. Like I said, even if you don't like Fauci, even if you don't believe a single word he says, he isn't the consensus. He isn't the consensus. So, yeah, it's kind of weird that people just kind of fixate on one person. I don't know about the AIDS claim, but the puppy thing is true. Yes, that actually is true. He facilitated or, signed off on, or, I forget the exact story. He either signed off on or facilitated funding that did some horrible animal experiments on, I want to say German Shepherds, but yeah, I believe that to be true in some way. I think he either facilitated, signed off on, or something of that sort, for some very ethically dubious experiments. We need medical experts like Joseph Rogan. I couldn't find when the first time they worked with mRNA, but the first time they used it on some kind of vaccine was in 2003. Yeah, it's about 18... Wait, do I have my, do I have a, calculator? 2000... Yeah, it's almost like, anywhere from 15 to 18 years. We've had, like, the building blocks of this technology. We've had the building blocks for this technology for quite some time. People only care because it's puppies, though. If it was rats, they probably wouldn't care. Right, because we're predisposed to just accept that that's just what we do for animals, right? That's just how it is. It's okay. Which is really weird if you start to really think about it. Which is really weird, right? Can't they say they're only ugly puppies, not the cute ones? They're all cute. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. I think mRNA vaccines go back to 20 years. I think that the technology that culminated into that, I think the technology that culminated into these mRNA vaccines were about 20 years. Anywhere from, I think it was like 18, but I don't know. Can we talk about diarrhea, the real dangerous sickness in the world? I'm okay. Thank you, though. Thank you for bringing that wonderful comment in chat. Yeah, social media and politics, always a good mix. Yeah, we see the results of that. Oh, I didn't even start bringing up our stories. Jesus. I'm way behind. Anyways, TLDR, please do what you need to do. Vaccines are readily available. If you haven't gotten your boost, consider getting your booster. If you need to, please wear masks, social distance. These are all proven things to limit COVID. This is not me. This is the culmination of all the science. of all the known science. I'll make it very simple. Just follow the consensus of science. It's not that hard. Oops. Hey. My friend has COVID right now, which sucks, but he's a healthy dude, so he'll stick it out. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, I've seen a lot of healthy people lose the dice roll. Just please take it seriously. Yeah, it's not about like being it's not about being like so to the point that you're like paralyzed, right? But it's just like it's just take it seriously, you know? It's just that take it seriously. Remember folks, mass social distancing and mass social distancing, vaccination, all of these things are what we can do. It's not a big deal. It's all within our purview. It's all free and readily available. That's it. Just take it seriously. That's all. In terms of the amount of money we spend on fixing X compared to the amount of human suffering caused by X, I don't think we can apportion things appropriately. Keep uppy diseases get more funding than ugly ducking. I do not know what that means. Hey, Heat4Tony, how's it going? If you have the flu, then quarantine yourself. Don't go out in public and try to infect people. Sounds about... that sounds like common sense to me. It would be nice if we keep these common sense precautions, wearing masks when sick or high risk, and getting vaccinated, staying at home, blah blah blah. Yeah, of course. Of course. But we don't have that. We do not have that. You sound way more optimistic than me. I have to be. I have to be. This will pass into an annual flu like an illness? At the cost of a lot of people. Unnecessarily. But I have to be optimistic. I have to keep urging people to do the right thing, and I have to keep encouraging people to take precautions and do what you need to do. Alright, I'm gonna make this real simple. On average, people are too stupid to use common sense. True, no misinformation or disinformation here. I try, okay? I try. I try. reality is that climate change and pollution is a bigger risk to humanity. I don't know which one's worse. Because, like, with one comes the other, right? With one comes the other. If climate change continues to go down the path that it's going, we will see more. The probabilities of more pandemics, some which may be even worse, increases. Does it not? So I don't know. With one comes the other. But certainly these things. This isn't a competition of how effed things are. It's all pretty bad. That's why hardline utilitarianism is a joke? True. True. Actually. Climate change is becoming the last thing I'm worried about now. I mean, we've got so many things, that I don't know if, like, we can accurately begin to put them on different levels. It's just a matter of, like, look, we gotta deal with this. We gotta deal with this. Separating sewage, drinking water, and third world could save more lives than things we're concerned about the West, I would venture. I mean, maybe. Yes, that's right, Alio. I just don't know if we can say that one's a bigger risk and one's that's less of a risk or anything like that. I think that the reality is we've, in terms of things that we need to deal with, they're all pretty apt, right? It's all pretty apt. I think climate change is happening, however, I feel more slower than people suggest, but we don't do something now, it can easily get out of control. I just don't think anything major will happen in our lifetime. Who's our lifetime? Because, let's say if things go the way they are, just business as usual, it is very likely that someone like me will see things in my lifetime, maybe at the end of it. But, and furthermore, failing to act just because it won't happen in our lifetime doesn't mean we're locking in any future problems, right? That's like saying, well, it's not a problem because it's not my problem. That's not really a good excuse, to be quite frank. That's not a good way of thinking. It is indeed all of our problems. That's not a good excuse. Alright, I see the cute animal video redemption, so I guess we'll start with that, right? Dr. Dragon Rider resubscribing 6 months. Good morning, Carlos. Hope as well. Sorry I haven't been attending. Oh, no, it's all good. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate you hanging out here. There's a cliff edge with climate change, but COVID has a bridge. Well, I mean, like, they're both seems to be, I don't know. I don't know which is worse. I don't know what we should be doing, other than it's both aft. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate that, Dr. Dragon Rider. Thank you. We do need a cute animal video. Let's break this up. You too, Zoomer. Glad you're hanging in there out here also. Alright, we need to break this up. Okay, come on. Cute animal video. Come here. I'm pretty sure I had one already on queue.
We called him.
He just trying to ruin my doomering. True.
Morning. No matter how far away in the pasture she somehow knows he's here and runs up to greet him. Always. It's like the day just can't begin if they don't say hello to each other first. And they act like they haven't seen each other in years, when it's only been a day.
Whoa. Sorry about that. Hold on. I'm gonna have to restart that over here.
Every single morning, no matter how far away in the pasture she somehow knows he's here and runs up to greet him. Always.
Thank you for the follow. Appreciate
it's like
that.
The day just can't begin if they don't say hello to each other first. And they act like they haven't seen each other in years.
Oh, you got to it before I did.
Day.
Alright, no fly. That's too close to the sun there, Icarus.
Then the zoomies begin. And I stand there like, alright, come on now. I also have things to do. But nope.
That's too close to the sun, Icarus.
Chase each other and eat some grass. And they can do that for hours. Orion and Destiny has always been best friends, ever since Orion was only 2 months old. I wanted him to be comfortable around horses early on so that he could come to work with me. One day I brought him to the stables and let him explore. 5 minutes in, it got super quiet, so I went to check on him, and there the two of them were. I think it was love at first sight. From there on out, they just became glued to each other. Till this day, their absolute favorite thing to do together is actual hugging. Orion will get up on his back legs and just throw his paws around Destiny and give her plenty of kisses. But it is never enough. And once Orion is done, he will sit back and let Destiny do her share. Every time he has the biggest smile on his face and he looks so happy. It's the sweetest
What a
thing
wholesome
ever.
video, true.
You can see how deeply they love each other. They simply can't contain it. Once work is over, we love to go hiking all together. Orion really likes leading the way, but he never runs off too far. He will stop and look back every few minutes, making sure Destiny is right behind him. He always keeps an eye on her. Even though he is much smaller,
This is
super
indeed cute.
protective of her. He needs to be with her at all times, see that she's okay. When I need to shoot Destiny, he stays right next to her, carefully watching me. He just wants her to be safe and happy. Both of them bring me so much joy and happiness. They might be different, but they act exactly like siblings. Orion steals Destiny's toys, while Destiny steals his. They love to cause trouble together. They don't always like to share, but they're still always there for each other, and that just warms my heart. They really know how to
Don't
love.
ruin it, Dr. Dragon Rider. This is a cute animal video, okay? These things warm my heart. These things warm my heart. Now that we got a reprieve from the Doomering. Now that we got a reprieve from the Doomering. Horrific scenes seen in previous COVID waves are now history, according to John Bell, a Regius Professor of Medicine at Oxford and the UK government's life science advisor. According to the BBC Radio, on Tuesday, Bell analyzed data from the UK where cases are breaking records and hospital admissions are at the highest since March. He said that the number of people in ICUs who are vaccinated remains very, very low. The incidence of severe disease and deaths from this disease has basically not changed since we all got vaccinated, and that's really important to remember. The horrific scenes that we saw a year ago, intensive care units being full, people dying prematurely, that is now history in my view, but I think we should be reassured that is likely to continue. Nice meme. Howdy. I'm Argentinian. Howdy. Welcome, Jirok. Welcome, Sanguchi de Baldosas. My nurse sister said their beds are all full. Yeah, my sister is a nurse too. And a couple of months ago, she said, yeah, there's all the ICU beds are full in her hospital. The disease does appear to be less severe, and many people spend a relatively short time in the hospital. They don't need high flow oxygen. Average length of stay is apparently 3 days. This is not the same disease we were seeing a year ago. A UK government study published on Thursday said that people were far less likely to be admitted with COVID from the Omicron variant than with the previous Delta strain. The UK Health Security Agency said individuals with Omicron are estimated to be 31 and 45% less likely to attend emergency departments compared with those with Delta, and 50 to 70% less likely to require admission to the hospital. The analysis is preliminary and highly uncertain owing to small numbers of Omicron cases currently in hospitals, but it does tally with similar findings from scientists in South Africa and research teams at Imperial College London and University of Edinburgh. Although the number of daily deaths remain low, and initial research suggests that the Omicron variant is not as severe as though the COVID strain. Health experts have repeatedly warned that the sheer number of infections could lead to mounting fatalities and overwhelm the healthcare system. In other words, it's just by sheer numbers. Did you talk about the whole CDC bowing to corporations, especially airlines, saying people don't need to quarantine for more than 5 days? Yes, we did talk about that. So basically, the new recommendations are as follows. If you test positive, you are to quarantine 5 days, and then the 5 days afterwards, you're supposed to wear a mask the whole 5 days. Like, I talked about this, and I stressed the importance of reading the exact, ramifications, because, like, it's not a green light to just go out after the 5 days. Okay, that's just not the case. Like, Texas is running out of monoclonal antibodies. You're not going to get as good a treatment as you could 2 months ago. Same in Florida. Thanks for the follow, custom costumes. Appreciate that. It's just a mild virus, folks. Nothing to worry about. Yeah. So the whole point is the sheer numbers, because of its high transmissibility, is the worrying part, right? The sheer numbers of people, plus the fact that we have this perception, we have this attitude perception that it's not really a big deal. It's okay. It's gonna probably be a problem. So now people will be fired for taking off the full quarantine? Yeah, probably. I don't know. I mean, there's been people who were probably being let go even beforehand. I mean, remember, it was a big deal trying to get sick days and things like that, protections. But we need people to continue to be cogs in the capitalist machine. Nothing stops the almighty dollar, folks. That is true. They lied about the reasoning for lowering the quarantine suggestion. I also think the death count is one in the US. Omicron doesn't take into account people having strokes and seizures. Is that like a side effect? I don't know. I watched a TYT story on how the airlines wanted CDC to change the rules. Now that I did not know. That is disturbing. If that's the case, that is cringy. Yikes. Doctors all posting tested infection levels show 3 and 8 have the same massive infection levels as day 5 is beyond stupid. Holy yikes, Batman. Oh my god. So then, if this is true, this is only going to further erode trust in the CDC and our health institutions. If this is true, and we're actually taking things, we're actually missing or purposely leaving out, variables to take into consideration when we make these guidelines, then this is beyond effed. We're dealing with something that is far more nefarious and worse than originally thought. Shit, maybe Darknet is true. Maybe Darknet is correct. Maybe we're beyond effed. Hey, kitty, come here. Come on, kitty. Come on. Come on, kitty. Because if it is true that you're still showing the same levels of post it or send it to me or to one of the mods, Dr. Dragon Rider. If that is the case, come here, kitty. Come on. Okay. If that is the case, and we're not taking into consideration the fact that, you know, there's still the same levels of infection on day 8 than there is on day, what is it, Dustin? Oh, don't worry, just send it to me, Dr. Dragon Rider. Where is it? Ah, yes. If they're showing the same levels of day 8 as day 3, then we've got some serious problems. Airlines are just going to infect all their crews, causing more flights to get cancelled. I think my cat knows. She came up here, she's sitting on my lap. Dr. Altman, professor of immunology at the Imperial College, told College London told CNBC via email that even if Omicron does prove to be milder than other strains, the potential caseload could double or triple the number of people needing hospitalization where the virus is rampant, with particular risk to the unvaccinated. Looking up at the UK specifically, at a time when the NHS are massively depleted, massively stretched and fatigued after 2 thankless years, this would be untenable. Yikes. And this is just, in a country where there is a universal healthcare system, and they're on the brink. They're on the brink. Google Delta CEO letter to CDC. Uh-oh. Yikes. A letter from the CEO, director to the director of CDC urging the agency to reduce the isolation period for all those who test positive has resurfaced online following the agency's new advice this week. 6 days later, wow. Holy yikes, to reduce from 10 to just 5, and 6 days later, then so it was. And so it was. Well, maybe I'm gonna eat my own words here. Maybe I'm gonna eat my own words here. Yikes. And here I thought, hey, whoa.
A headache, not for you. I get it. But we're on a mission for something.
Stop it. And here I was reporting on the updated CDC guidelines because I was under the impression that new information had come up to reevaluate the way we handle things. This is most disturbing and very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. This is very uncomfortable. My country's also on the brink. We had 200 baby. available for IC intensive care. Same as 2012, nothing is done to increase it. Even more people are getting old. We handled it like the 3K during foods. Government says it's a crisis, but nothing is done. Yikes. Well, I mean, yeah, you should be vaccinated. Yes. Them not doing anything about it is separate. Hospitals everywhere near the point of collapse under the workloads. Yikes. The airlines should all go on strike. They should, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That is very deeply disturbing. Because I did cover this, and I was under the impression that, you know, the CDC is a institution that's more or less driven by you know, the necessity to protect people. It's the Center for Disease you know, it's the Center for Disease Control, right? I'm surprised you didn't know that. This is my naivety. This is me being naive. This is me being naive. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is the purpose of this institution. And to see this is very, very disturbing. And I'm now having to eat my words. Well, folks, at this point in time, then I'm gonna have to issue a quick retraction. The reality is, you should take this seriously. And, just, wear masks, get vaccinated, social distancing. These are the things that work. That's it. Please do not underestimate this virus. It is better that you overestimate than lose a dice roll, okay? It is better that you do more to protect yourself, more to protect others, than it is to lose the dice roll. Okay? Just never mind. We have enough information out there to know what can help reduce the spread. We know, based on umpteenth amount of studies about vaccines, we know, even before the pandemic, the efficacy of just masking in general, about the efficacy of masking with respiratory diseases. We know, I mean, we've seen the effects of that in places like Japan. So just follow that, because clearly, this is deeply disturbing. What's the upside to risking it? Owning the libs? Yeah, exactly. Owning the libs at the cost of grandma, or at the cost of permanent damage to yourself. And at the cost of maybe giving it to somebody who is vulnerable. You just don't know. You just don't know. I don't know what else can be done. Honestly, this is pretty shocking, pretty disturbing. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. The last thing that we would need in this pivotal time is having an institution like the CDC behave in this manner. Look at New York's cases. Who would like to play Dodge car on the motorway? Yeah, something like that. Ouchies. Hey, stop it. Wow, sorry to hear that, Dr. Dragon Rider. Jesus Christ. It's like a hockey stick. Just yeeted. And look at the previous, like, months. Like, just eyeballing it, it almost looks like 3 times. 3 times. Look at that. Just eyeballing it. Wow. Ow. Ow, kitty. Be nice. I know those are love bites, but it hurt. I'm not reading that username. That's adorable. Well, definitely, things are bad. That's for sure. Kitty, can you put your murder mittens away for me, please? Please? Ow, ow, ow. Okay, that's it, kitty. I know these are love bites, but that hurts. Come on, kitty. Say hi, everybody. Hello. No. Don't even think about it, kitty. Don't give me those eyes. Don't give me those zoomy eyes. I still have told my immediate family, but I have to compose an email to tell my extended family anyway, to do it without saying COVID killer. It's not followed in a nice way. Yikes. Anyways, please, folks, take it seriously, and it is very disheartening to read about an institution like this. It's just still very shocking to me. It is unbelievably shocking to me. Maybe it's my naiveness. Maybe it's me being naive. That out of like all the institutions, something like the CDC or the NIH or things like that, would generally be a institution that is there for the people and it's there to, do its job. This is unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. My cat took a swipe at me last night because I was moving her off the bed to make it up. Yes, I make my bed at night. Why? But yes, my cat does bite me when I try to get her off my lap because she's like, hey, this is very comfy for me. She gave me love bites. No blood. So that's good. She was just giving me little love taps. Different places keep messing with the quarantine times. I'm not sure if the science is changing or businesses are getting in the way. Yeah, like that's the thing now. I actually don't know. I actually don't know anymore. I'm just going to assume that we are still in the about 10 to 14 days, because I just don't know. Again, it's better to overestimate than lose a dice roll. The plane fight videos are getting worse and worse. Yes, I've seen these. I've seen these videos. I support but it's crazy the FBI got involved on a pro-mask person, but does that ever happen to anti-maskers? Huh. I have scratches on me right now. These cats are our landlords? No, no, no. No, we're just cat butlers. That's all. We're just cat butlers. If you have a pet cat, you are not its owner. That's a weird concept in and of itself, but you are just simply its butler. The pro-mask woman on a plane who spat on... Oh my god, I actually saw something like that. I don't know if it's the same incident because there's been so many that are very similar. But Jesus, like, what if you had COVID? How do you know that? Why would you do that? In the conclusion to the Cuomo stories, as unfortunately is the case most of the times, as is the case with most of the times, Cuomo to face no charges in Westchester despite credible allegations. Nice. District Attorney, Westchester County District Attorney Mimi Roca. Ooh, do I have dyslexia? Oh my goodness, that was a super dyslexic moment. Roca announced on Tuesday that she would not pursue criminal charges against former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who resigned over a string of sexual harassment allegations. Our investigation found credible evidence to conclude that the alleged conduct in both instances described above did occur. Okay, nice. However, we cannot pursue criminal charges due to the statutory requirements of the criminal law in New York. The statement noted that the decision is unrelated to potential civil liability, which could be beyond Roca's jurisdiction. Roca's office said it conducted a thorough investigation into allegations against Cuomo from 2 women, including one who accused him of kissing her cheek, and another who said he grabbed her arm and kissed her cheek without permission. So yeah, cool, nice meme. Nice meme. So dude basically just gets to go scot-free, as most people in power who engage in this type of gross behavior. What a gross human being. No consequences whatsoever. Scot-free. I must participate in capitalism to give my cats the life they deserve. Yeah, I believe we all do. Sex crimes should not have a statute of limitations. Yeah, I agree. She deserves it. We can't be partisan. Anyways, the problem here is, yeah, you kind of do need permission, right? Like, you can't violate people's space like that. And I think the caveat on top of that, I think the caveat on top of that is the fact that he was like the boss. I think that the caveat is that he was the boss, which is a massive problem. The caveat here is that he was the boss. That's a huge no-no. That's a huge no-no. That is wildly inappropriate. Period. Like, if somebody allows you into their space, that's very different than you imposing yourself on their space. And the cherry on top is that this guy was in a position of power. He was the boss and a governor. And the governor. So not only is he like the boss, but he has like power, right? Anyways. TLDR, gross human being. No consequences. Not gonna lie, if my boss did that, and my boss imposed themselves in my personal space, like, first of all, it's just very weird to begin with, that your boss would approach you in that way. So yeah, I would be way uncomfortable, if that happened. When I was in college, a bunch of guys were trying to get frats to be allowed. Right when a frat at the University of Washington threw a beer bottle out that hit a girl, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Here's the question. I mean, the thing is, like, if you think that that is acceptable behavior, I would argue that that is not acceptable behavior. If you acknowledge that that was not cool, and you have since then learned that that is not okay, then yeah, that's good. The point is to acknowledge that that's not okay, and to not do it, right? That's the point. This guy continues to insist that he never did anything wrong. He never did anything wrong. Deny, deflect, and delay. Right. So, like, if you've done things in the past, and you've acknowledged the fact that maybe you just shouldn't do that, and maybe that was wildly inappropriate, and you just never do that again. For example, that incident would be an incident where if you acknowledge that that was just not cool, that was completely inappropriate, and you just never did it again, and acknowledge the fact that you need to change, that's good. That is a good thing. Ex-Governor Cuomo has decided that not only is his inappropriate behavior never happened. He's like, I don't know, that's just the way I am. Insert Italian hands here. That's just the way I am. Nah. You're refusing to acknowledge that your behavior is inappropriate. You don't want to change. And on top of that, you're lying about it. You're lying about these incidents that clearly did happen. He said he's not going to be so handsy again while giving a slideshow of all the times he did it. Jesus Christ. I do not have that meme, unfortunately, Dr. Dragon Rider. Anyways, the TLDR is, that's gross behavior. Just no. There was a lot of intergender groping in my high school. Kind of strange now that I think about it. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the cool thing about learning, right? You realize and reflect and then change. That's the whole point, right? You realize, reflect, and then you change the behaviors. Right, so that it doesn't happen again. If you find yourself in an uncomfortable position, first of all, say something. And also, again, we can reflect, acknowledge, and change. As in, the girls were doing it a lot too. Yeah, and that's not okay either. Like, if you're invading people's personal space, like, just don't. Just don't. Just don't. Consent is very important. Consent is very important. Oh, I definitely was told, a good friend, that it was not appropriate. I haven't done it. Yeah, well, yeah, the whole point is to acknowledge that it's not appropriate and reflect on that. Hello, kitty. Come here. Come here. I've never heard of intergending. That sounds like a social study. No. 9 hours left to find if I get pulled for jury duty. I hate this. I do not want to be in the group of 11 strangers right now. Well. Anyways. Consent is good. Consent is necessary. And, yeah, there's a lot of things that were deemed or perceived as okay that are not upon further reflection. And, yeah. Just don't do it, folks. Just don't do it. Judge refuses to dismiss indictments against alleged Proud Boys leaders, with an S. A federal judge refuses to dismiss an indictment charging 4 alleged leaders of the far-right Proud Boys with conspiring to attack on the U.S. Capitol to stop Congress from certifying Joe Biden's electoral victory. U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly on Tuesday rejected defense attorneys' arguments that 4 men, Ethan Nordian, Joseph Biggs, Zachary Rehl, and Charles Donahue, are charged with conduct that is protected by the First Amendment right to free speech. Nice meme. Kelly said that the defendants had many nonviolent ways to express their opinions about the 2020 presidential election. Defendants are not, as they argue, charged with anything like burning flags, wearing black armbands, or participating in mere sit-ins or protests. Moreover, if the charged conduct had some expressive aspect, it lost whatever First Amendment protection it may have had. In other words, you done goofed. These 4 folks were indicted in March on charges including conspiracy and obstructing an official proceeding. All 4 of them remain jailed while they await a trial scheduled for May. Defense lawyers argued that the obstruction charge doesn't apply to their client's case because Congress certification of the Electoral College vote was not an official proceeding. Wait, then what? Then what is it? Yeah, these 90s movies. Yes, Dr. Dragon Rider. Yes. It's almost a year, yeah. I meant the term sound scientific rather than it was an internal experiment. Yeah, that's true. 90s movies, they didn't age well. Like I said, it was it is good that we reflect upon these things and realize we could probably do things we probably should do things differently and maybe reflect upon these actions and do better. That's it, right? We should always strive for progress. We should always strive for progress. That's it. Because Congress certification of the Electoral College was not an official proceeding, then what is it then? Earlier this month, another judge of the District of Columbia's federal court upheld the prosecutor's use of the same obstruction charge in a separate case against 2 riot defendants. The case against these 4 is a focus of the Justice Department's sprawling investigation of the January 6th insurrection. More than 36 people charged in the Capitol siege have been identified by federal authorities as Proud Boys, members or associates, including at least 16 defendants charged with conspiracy. Last Wednesday, a New York man pleaded guilty to storming the U.S. Capitol with fellow Proud Boy members. Matthew Green is the first Proud Boy member to publicly plead guilty to conspiring with other members to stop Congress from certifying the Electoral College vote. He agreed to cooperate with authorities. Nice. It is an official proceeding, true. No, it is an official proceeding. Oh, the rule of law is only applicable when they want it to be applicable. There's a serious question. Make people think it's okay? Yeah, I would think so. That's not cool. Like, I don't think that's cool. In my opinion, I don't think that's cool. I wouldn't do it. The Proud Boy had been running Roger Stone's social media while he was in jail. I don't doubt it. Other extremist groups have been charged with conspiracy to carry out coordinated attacks on the Capitol, including more than 20 people linked to the anti-government Oath Keepers. That's a very charitable description. These 4 was Proud Boy chapter president and members of the group's National Elders Council. Biggs of Ormond Beach, Florida man, is self-described Proud Boys organizer. Other dude was president of the Proud Boys chapter in Philadelphia. Donahue of Kernersville, North Carolina, also served as the president of his local chapter. Just before Congress convened a joint session to certify the election results, a group of Proud Boys followed a crowd of people who breached barriers at a pedestrian entrance to the Capitol grounds, the indictment said. Several Proud Boys also entered the Capitol building itself after the mob smashed the windows and forced to open the doors. More than 700 people have been charged with federal crimes related to the Capitol riot. At least 165 of them have pleaded guilty, mostly to misdemeanor offenses punishable by a maximum of 6 months imprisonment. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I personally not comfortable, but yeah, we can move on from that. That's just my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. More than 700 people have been charged with federal crimes related to the Capitol riot. At least 165 of them have pleaded guilty, mostly to misdemeanor offenses punishable by 6 months of imprisonment. Yep, consequences of actions. Thank you for the follow, Tiara. Appreciate that. Piggybacking off that. Yeah, they're getting off easy. I did admit to their incidents. Yeah. A Texas sheriff's lieutenant who's called the Capitol riot one of the best days of her life has been fired. Nice. A Texas sheriff lieutenant who was at the Capitol on January 6th and called the insurrection one of the best days of her life has been fired. Texas County Sheriff's Office, Roxanne Mathai, was placed on administrative leave in January after she posted photos on Facebook that showed her near the Capitol. Sheriff Javier Salazar fired Mathai in June, but she appealed this decision. When the case was brought before an arbitrator, she argued that she'd been present for a historic event that was wrongfully terminated. Ha! Since Mathai said she didn't enter the Capitol, she also argued that she was not involved in the siege. In an interview with KSAT on Monday, Salazar called Mathai's defense ridiculous. It's not like you're standing there for the signing of the Declaration of Independence. That's a historic event. You're there when fellow Americans lost their lives. That's not something to be proud of. The arbitrator ultimately sided with Salazar and upheld Mathai's firing. Good. 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 The fact that this person was like active law enforcement and was like not fired on the spot. Mathai was not criminally charged in the insurrection. She has claimed that she was unaware of the bloodshed at the Capitol. I don't know about that. According to KSAT, among photos posted on her Facebook page showed that she was walking towards the Capitol after President Trump's speech, and were going in the crowd at the stairs, not inside the Capitol like the others, not catching a case. Not gonna lie, aside from my kids, this was indeed the best day of my life, and it's not even over. Wow. Active law enforcement. Active law enforcement. Well, former. According to KENS5, Mathai had been an employee of the sheriff's office for 8 years. Mathai told the outlet in June that she did not regret going to the Capitol, but did regret the events had happened, the events that I had no participation in. Sure. Okay, buddy. Okie dokie, buddy. You had no idea what happened. You didn't really participate, but also, this was one of your best days of your life. Huh. That's, fascinating. Why is Chump being auto-corrected? Auto-modded. Can't wait for the Chump Memorial Library. Nah, I'm good. We don't need to have this. It should be talked about in the history books. But, no thanks. We don't need memorials to this. Nice meme. Nice meme. Best day of her life. But also, I did not participate in any crimes. But also, I had no idea what was going on. I'm gonna press exit down on that one, but you know, I'm glad that she was fired. Election was confirmed by Pence for Biden. COVID wearing no mask. Yep. True. I'm glad that she was fired. All of these folks, all of these law enforcement officers who are off duty or active law enforcement, active military, all of these folks should be fired. Period. And why did she take the trouble to go there, and who told her to? Right. That's a good question. I wonder who told her to. I wonder if a certain personality with a orange tinge who kept repeatedly hyping it up on Twitter at the time before he was banned. I wonder who that certain person was. And yeah, I mean, I'm just having trouble putting my finger on it. I wish I could go back on Twitter and go look up that profile, but But I can't because they're no longer there. But I wonder who told her to go there. I wonder who hyped it up and told everybody to be there January 6th. I wonder. Sheriffs have much more responsibility, authority, and power and range than most police. Maybe they should investigate some of their cases and make sure they are all processed fairly. Ha! You're giving too much credit there. I think it should be independent. Coherent dreams. But you're right, they do have much more responsibility, authority, and power. So yeah, it was a good move that they, fired this person. Ow, 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 ow. Jesus. No, kitty. Be nice. It's a little depressing, but his tweets are going to be put in the presidential library. Jesus. Cat only attacks when it's something she thinks it's cringe. Yeah, maybe I was talking too much about the Proud Boys and January 6th. Sorry, kitty. I apologize. Maybe that was my bad. I didn't consider that. I didn't consider that. I didn't consider the fact that maybe it was me. Tucky. My old friend. Military doesn't need women or gay people, just men who want the throne of China. What? Jesus Christ. This is the kind of stuff that happens on Tucker Carlson. Very, very hinged. You know what? We don't even need to read the article. How about we just listen?
Jesse, really simple. Do you think the key to remaining competitive with the Chinese military is more gender advisors?
Oh, there's no question, Tucker. I mean, China right now and Russia, they're both testing hypersonic missiles that can turn New York City to ash. Russia is actually developing and has developed satellites that can push our satellites out of orbit and completely cripple our military. Our military, though, they're focused on the...
If that's the case, then where are all the $760 billion going to? Like, think about it. Think about it. Our military is one of the most advanced militaries, period. It would take, 10 plus countries to even touch a percent of what we spend, of what we do when it comes to, like, just throwing money at the military. And you're already telling me that this is what we need to worry about? It should be an offense to celebrate. Oh, I don't know about celebrating because, like, I don't want to jail people for that. But I do think that you should be jailed and investigated, and there should be penalties for organizing these events because that's different. That is not protected at all. You can't organize these violent events. No, you cannot do that. That is against the law. That's right, Coherent Dreams. Like, we should definitely investigate people, especially the organizers, and there should be jail time for that.
The important things we want to focus on: climate change, and we definitely have to make sure there are enough tampons in the restrooms at the Pentagon.
What?
That hypersonic missiles that can turn New York City to ash. Russia is actually developing and has developed satellites that can push our satellites out of orbit and completely cripple our military. Our military, though, they're focused on the important things we want to focus on: climate change.
True.
And we definitely have to make sure there are enough tampons in the restrooms at the Pentagon.
True.
That's kind of what they're saying. I mean,
wait, the military by itself is... If you separate the military and act and pretend it's its own country, the military's contribution to climate change is massive. It's massive. It has a huge carbon footprint.
I mean, I don't know. There's a psychological term for this, and it escapes my memory at the moment. But where there's a massive real threat that you can't deal with, so you scurry off and deal with imaginary threats to make yourself feel
Yes, climate change is the imaginary threat. Is the imaginary threat that isn't, like, knocking on our doorsteps. Yes. Good one, Tucker. Good one. It's not like we've had unprecedented back-to-back records continuously being broken. It's not like we had billions upon billions upon billions of dollars in destruction. It's not like we've had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of acres burned. It's not like Siberia was on fire. It's not like the Midwest was suffering. It's not like Texas had its bout with climate change too, that resulted in the death of God knows. Coherent Dreams, he's not interested in any facts, so he's not going to be interested in that. Just one of the biggest threats the DoD keeps calling out every year, so Tucker's going to call it imaginary. Right. Remember, he is allegedly very pro-military, very war-hawkish, to my knowledge. He says he's not, but he is. He says he's not, but he is. He supports the military and things like that. And, but conveniently leaves out the fact that, as Dustin pointed out, the DoD keeps calling out climate change as one of the biggest threats. Yeah, just imaginary in Tucker's mind.
in control. That kind of feels like what we're watching.
Well, what we're watching is the destruction of the U.S. military, and what we're going to end up seeing, Tucker, is thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Americans die. Those are the stakes of the game we're playing here. We don't need a military that's woman-friendly. We don't need a military that's gay-friendly, with all due respect to the Air Force. We need a military that's flat-out hostile. We need a military full of Type A men who want to sit on a throne of Chinese skulls. But
Jesus Christ, is this guy okay? I think he's actually... like, I don't want to be like an armchair psychologist, and I take, like, you know, mental illness very seriously. But this guy should probably speak to a professional. This guy should probably speak to a professional. This is just...
We don't have that now. We can't even get women off of naval vessels. That should be step one, but most of them are already pregnant anyway.
Just really simple. Do you think...
Oh my god. And the caveat on top. Are you a lefty? Well, I'm actually ambidextrous. I write, with both hands. Isn't that what Cawthorn said also on the news, that just everyone has a better military? Lamau? Based on what? Is that a pro-US military thing to increase funding, or is that just a pro-Russia thing to say I'm sorry for marrying a possible asset to Russia? That's an interesting concept. The story's hilarious, and the sadness of how stupid Cawthorn is makes me watch Is a Shipwreck with no one on board. Oh no, we're all on board this shipwreck. I'm sorry. Nah, you're wrong there. We're all on board, with this shipwreck. This is unbelievable to me. This is what happens on Tucker Carlson, folks. This is what happens. Daily. And not to mention, this is what millions of people listen to and take as a legitimate political commentator. That's the most disturbing part about this whole thing. What is the name of that person on the right so I can quickly memory hold them? Kelly. Somebody Kelly. Jesse Kelly, thank you. The host of the Jesse Kelly Show then shared several thoughts which targeted Asians, the LGBTQ plus community, and women serving in the military. Ah, yes, we know that's just beyond wild. What is type A men? Like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? He tweeted recently that communists should be rounded up and put in camps. Can you send that to me? They should never ever be allowed on a news program ever again after statements like that. Here's the thing, Coherent Dreams. That is not a news program. That is not a news program. That is not a news program. Can you send that tweet to me via Whispers, please? I don't even know what to call it. It's xenophobia, white nationalist hour. That's what it is. Let's see if we can find it. Search Twitter. Jesse. Is he even allowed on Twitter? Yeah, he is. The American Communist... Oh, I'm sorry. Here. Let's check out this wonderful person's tweets. I always think of Grandma listening and thinking about China and 10K American sign that's really fair to the world. Yep. Send it to me via Whispers. Please. Please, please. The American Communist's most prized possession is his ability to teach kids to hate you, themselves, and their country. It's a very good sample of that thing that people say, something along the lines America deserves a better caliber of conservatives instead of marketing. I'm making a coherent argument grounded in historiography about American interventionism versus isolationism. We get somebody who's just making crass remarks about dead Chinese people. It's quite literally scraping the bottom of the barrel of the right. Yeah, but this is the new GOP. This is what's popular. This is what's popping for the GOP. This is them now. Oh, hello, kitty. Again, please don't bite me. This is what they want. This is the ultimate ending, right? This is the ultimate ending. Oh, here. Hey, look at that. There are a lot of people who better pray I never take power. This guy's probably number one. That sounds like a threat to me. To clarify, when I take power, communists will not be allowed to hold jobs. Their children won't be allowed in schools. They won't be allowed in bars or restaurants, and that's just the standard communists, whatever that means. People who've been pushing COVID tyranny will be sent to work camps. Ah, yes. This guy, I'm not even gonna go down this rabbit hole of comments, but there you have it, folks. This is one of the faces. This is a very popular conservative GOP. And by the way, completely allowed on Twitter. Completely fine. Completely allowed on Twitter. Basically saying that if somebody like him were to ever get power, if somebody like him were to ever get power, he would want to do this, and he's very openly about it. To clarify, just to clarify, to make sure that I am not misunderstood, just to clarify, so I'm not misunderstood, I am actually very, very for work camps and essentially authoritarianism to the people I don't like. He would treat communists the same way that some prominent communist nations of the past have treated people. This is why people unfortunately believe in the horseshoe theory. Do you not understand that he's joking and comparing it to the COVID mandates? You're actually taking this as a serious tweet? Yeah, I am. You can absolutely get fucked if you're out there pushing jokes like this. If you're absolutely out there pushing jokes like this. The fact that private businesses are doing things that they want to do is not the same. Okay? So, yeah, majorly based. You can absolutely get fucked if this is your idea of jokes. Yeah. I'm comfortable saying that. And especially given the previous comments, are these jokes too? Is this a joke?
To remaining
Here, we don't need a military that's woman-friendly. We don't need a military that's gay-friendly, with all due respect to the Air Force.
Is that a joke, too?
We need a military that's flat-out hostile. We need a military full of Type A men who want to sit on a throne of Chinese skulls. But we don't have that now. We can't even get women off of naval vessels. That should be step one, but most of
That's
them
a
are
joke
already
to you?
pregnant anyway.
Does that sound like a joke? No, it seems based. Yeah, I know. To people like you, it does. To people like you, it does. Yeah, I know. To people like you, you're just frothing at the mouth of the idea of war. You're just frothing at the mouth of the idea of somebody like him taking power because you think he's based. Of somebody like him taking power and then do the type of stuff that you want to do, which is put people that you don't like into camps, into work camps. That's what you want. You're just frothing at the mouth of the idea. I know you think people like him are based. I know. Yeah, I know people like you think you're based. People like you think he's based. So unequivocally, and with all undue disrespect, get fucked. Fortunately, the American system doesn't like people like that. In fact, they're treated with the same contempt as the quote communists that they supposedly oppose. I don't I don't know, women are some of the best people in the military. To remove women from the military would just put us at a huge disadvantage. True. Anybody should be allowed in the military that can be in the military. Like, I don't get it. What's the problem? If you can do, if you can do it, is anybody opposed to that? Only people who actually want us to be at a disadvantage are completely in favor of that. But whatever. Yeah, no. I know that people like that are just frothing at the mouth of the idea that they want somebody like this. The only reason that these people are mad and frothing at the mouth and crying about the left all the time is because they're the ones who want to, deep down, who want this to happen. They're the ones who deep down want this to happen. Because if it was them, anybody who they deem the left, who they deem political enemies, would be sent to work camps in their ideal world. And this is why people like him and people who think people like him are based should never, ever be allowed within 10,000 bajillion miles of power. Okay? People like him, people like Jesse Kelly, people who think Jesse Kelly is based, people who platform Jesse Kelly, like Tucker Carlson, who give him a microphone, should never, ever be allowed within galaxies length of power. Okay? Period. I have a zero tolerance policy for authoritarianism. Okay? Zero tolerance for authoritarianism or authoritarian sympathies. Zero. Yeah, there definitely has been data behind that. Coherent Dreams. Jesse Kelly is 100% a fascist. Definitely, he's tacking out some of the check boxes. That's for sure, Mestophiles. He's definitely checking off way too many boxes. Nah, F this guy. Nope. It's a projection of insecurity. It's about losing the only thing they thought they were capable of. Violence on behalf of power. Yes. Suddenly, even women can do that too, so what are these subservient men even good for? Nothing. It is more sad than anything. That's true. But the problem is, while I agree with you, this must be stamped out immediately and must be dealt with in the sense that, like, no, you must push back immediately. When you hear things like that, when you hear that your solution to political enemies, when you hear people talk about solutions to political opponents are work camps, that's when you know. That's when that's a no-no. That's a nope, hard pass. They gotta build some real self-worth, stop defining your entire identity on violence and being strong. Right. Might makes right, which is the whole very core, one of the core tenets that are fundamental to fascism. The GOP machine is worse than parody. No, the problem with the GOP machine is that it's not just parody. It's not just worse than parody. It's translating into real life. It's translating into people like this guy. Okay? Say what you will about the Democratic Party. Say what you will about these corporate, like, Dems. But, yeah. And let me be clear. If I see the solutions to any political opponent, no matter what, if your solution to political opponents is to put them in camps, then just no, remove yourself. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. If your solution, and I don't care where it comes from, if your solution to dealing with political opponents is to put them in camps, or even joking, or even thinking that that's based in any way, shape, or form, yeah, no, sorry. Just no. Just know that is a very, like, there's very handful of things that I'm very passionate about, and that will undeniably trigger me, and this anti-democratic sentiment, this authoritarianism in any way, shape, or form that I see, and I know that if someone like him ever got to power, he would do that. That's not a joke. Despite what that a person was saying earlier, despite what our friends were saying earlier, that is not a joke. That is a threat. That is a promise. If someone like him ever came to power, that is not a joke. I don't want Trump or any other Trump worships to Hitler to be leaning into anything. Well, the thing is, like, I can't say that every single GOP person is like that. However, certainly the big names that are catching popularity, some of which are political leaders, are disturbingly moving in that direction. Republicans built the FEMA camps and then they complain they're going to be used every time we have a Democratic president. Yeah, I know that's like some Alex Jones level of stuff, but like, the point is, so as I was saying, some of the things that really triggered me are anti-democratic thoughts, anti-democratic sentiments. I just can't do that. The whole like women's, the whole abortion thing really triggers me because like that's kind of linked to the whole like human rights thing. I'm very big on that. Very big on human rights and protections for the poor. Climate change. You want to trigger me? Those are the ways. Yeah, unacceptable sentiment. Alright folks, we got to cover these really quickly. Alaska sets high record of December at 19.4 degrees Celsius. An unusual winter warm spell in Alaska has brought daytime temperatures soaring past 15.5 degrees Celsius, which is about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and torrents of rain at a time where you're normally associated with bitter cold and snow. The island community of Kodiak, the air temperature at a tidal gauge hit 19.4 degrees Celsius, which is 67 degrees on Sunday, the highest December reading ever recorded in Alaska, said scientist Rick Thoman of the Alaska Center for Climate Assessment and Policy. He called it absurd. The new benchmark high came amid a spate of balmy December extremes, Thoman said, including 18.3 degrees Celsius, 65 degrees Fahrenheit at the Kodiak airport, a record 62 Fahrenheit or 16.6 degrees Celsius at the Alaska Peninsula community of Cold Bay, and at least 8 days of December of temperature above 10 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit at the Aleutian town of Unalaska, including a reading of 13.3, which is 56. That was Alaska's warmest Christmas day on record. Jesus. The most serious implication for humans is likely from the massive amount of precipitation dumped on the interior of Alaska, where the Fairbanks area was hit with its fiercest midwinter storm since 1937. Normally, December is a dry month in interior Alaska because the usual frigid air cannot hold much moisture. Whenever moisture does flow, it tends to be more fluffy powder because the air is nice and cold. But so much snow fell on that Sunday that it caved in the roof of the Seoul grocery store in Delta Junction. Yikes, a town 93 miles southeast of Fairbanks. Alright, come on, Kitty. Hold on, folks. Come on. Okay. Hey, Resto Dragon. How's it going? The Alaska Department of Transportation warned that the roads will remain, possibly worse. The heavy snows were followed by torrents of rain that coated communities in the region with ice, triggering widespread power outages, prompting closures of major roads, offices, as well as the nickname Ice-mageddon. The Alaska Department of Transportation warned that all roads will remain treacherous for a long time because of the cement-like ice coating has formed on them. Ice is extremely difficult to remove once it's binded onto the road surface. Even for air temperatures were warm during the Ice-mageddon of 2021. Roads were at sub-zero temps, which caused the ice to bind to the surface. Jesus. That's, yikes. And this is the sad part. The blasts of warm and wet midwinter weather have become more frequent in Alaska over the past 2 decades than in years prior, a sign of climate change. This is exactly what we expect in a warming world. This is the new norm. It sounds like we're heading to a wet bulb future. How depressing for a way things to end. Well, it's not 100% ending, but it's certainly going to be really bad. The story is similar elsewhere in the far north, where winter rains have proved treacherous to people and to grazing animals like caribou and musk oxen that struggle when ice on the road covers food sources. Such hardships are expected to intensify. Yep, this is just the new norm, folks. Unfortunately, should things continue, this is undeniably where we're heading. Undeniably where we're heading, and we should take this seriously. We should take this seriously. Now we seem to be promising to do things in the future. We can say the future in the future. We have to say the future now. That's right. Morning. Right. Because what we do here is what will determine the future, essentially. Essentially. What we do in the here and now, or what we fail to do in the here and now, is what will determine the future. A study published last month in the journal Nature Communications projected an Arctic climate with more winter rain than snow starting around 2060 and 2070. That's not a long time. 50 years is not a long time. That's the next generation. That's it. It's not a long time in the grand scheme of things. Alaska will still have cold winters. Fairbanks temperature were forecast to plunge below minus 29, which is minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. But warm, soggy episodes are expected to be more numerous in the future. A warming moisture has put our thumbs on the scale to make this more likely. Yep. Shared Records just posted a second collaborative pair if you're free to use. Oh. Nice. It's bops. Nice. Hey Renardus, how's it going? TLDR, this is the new normal, folks. Melting of the Antarctic, to piggyback off that, melting of the Antarctic ice sheet could cause 5-meter rise in sea levels by the end of the millennium. Again, that's not too far off. Scientists predict that continued global warming under current trends could lead to an elevation of sea level by as much as 5 meters by the year 3000 CE. Can you imagine? 5 meters, 5 times 3, that's about 15 feet. If that kind of puts that into perspective, 15 feet. The sixth assessment of the IPCC, the contribution of the Antarctic ice sheet to sea level rise by 2100 was assessed to be in the ranges of 7.830 centimeters under the unabated warming and about 0 to 3 centimeters under reduced emissions of greenhouse. By the way, that's still a lot. That's still a lot. The whole world is at your fingertips and the ocean at your door. True. The purpose of this study is to illustrate the effects that we have now of what will be locked in the future, right? Before we sign off, this study demonstrates clearly that the impact of 21st century climate change on the Antarctic ice sheet alone extends well beyond the 21st century itself, and the most severe consequences, multi-meter contribution to sea level rise, would likely only be seen later. The future work will include basing simulations on more realistic future climate scenarios, as well using other ice sheet models to model outcomes. Yep, so take this seriously, folks. Take this seriously, and don't be afraid to discuss the climate crisis at any time that you can. We must do what we can within the time that we have, within the tools that we have. Thank you, Chai Bureaucrat, by the way. I appreciate that. Alright, folks. Unfortunately, I do have to get ready to go to work. Thanks, have a good day. You have a good day. Thank you, Chai Bureaucrat. Folks, remember, democracy is good. Democracy is good. Thanks, Chai Bureaucrat. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that wonderful resource. Any streamer, any diamond in chat, feel free to use that. Have a good one. You have a good one, Dustin. Thank you so much. First and foremost, thank you to all the new follows. Thank you to Dr. Dragon Rider for the sub. Please, folks, take care of yourselves. Do not sleep. Do not sleep or underestimate this Omicron variant. Please take care of each other. Please take care of yourselves. Do what's known to work. Please get vaccinated. Please use masks, social distancing, things like that. Please. And democracy is good. Okay, controversial statement. Democracy is good. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I'll be all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya! Let's head on over to the Jap. Have a great one. You have a great one. Democracy is good. Let's head on over to the Jap, alright? The Jap is a great chap. Hang tight, folks. We're heading over to the Jap's channel. Please show massive support to them. They do a lot of environmental type content with climate change and politics. So, so make sure you give them some support. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. check out the Citizens Climate Lobby. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. See ya!